Hi everyone, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with a video today that will hopefully help some of you avoid the problem that we are facing today. I recently placed two orders for two different boards from TVPartsToday.com, and those boards are both LG. You can see what they are, one for 50PB 560B-UA, the other one is for 60LN 5400-UA. And those are the two boards. They arrived, I believe one of them arrived a few days ago, the other one maybe yesterday or the day before, I don't know, but today is when I opened it. And those are the two boards, and this is a video that hopefully the people from TV Parts Today may one day recognize. They come like this. Sorry, one of them fell down. This is my guess how they've signed them. At the back, here's the other one. And this is how they know this is their boards. And they haven't been touched. In all fairness, I don't see any tampering with the boards. I don't see any attempts to repair. But because I know why we are buying them, we're buying them because they're rare and they were indeed at a good price. The problem with those, and I've said that in other videos, the problem with these generations of design of LG is that the USB ports are going straight to the main processor, and apparently the protection in the main processor for power surges is not good. So the Achilles, what's the Achilles? Bone? No, sorry. The expression escapes me in English, but the weak point of those boards is the main processor that gets burnt. Now this is very different than that, and I don't have much experience with this one. That's why we wanted to get a board, but we're paying for boards that are supposedly working, and they're not. Neither of them is. Both of them have the same problem, which is burned main processor due to an HDMI shock. And the way to find out, it's really easy. I have shown it in many other videos. What you do is you look at the HDMI ports, and on this board it's actually a single HDMI. So this is very, very, very cheap TV and very cheap board that we probably wouldn't be bothering to be repairing, just because it's probably coming from a very cheap TV that people will not pay a lot to get repaired. But long story short, this is the HDMI port, and you see those tiny wires that go, and they go through those buffer components here. Those are basically just jumpers. They are pairs with a differential signal going through them. So for every signal there are two of them. This small component has two jumpers, then there is a ground in the middle, and then there's another two jumpers going to the other side. And this is one data line, positive negative signal, another positive negative signal, and this is standard for the HDMI. The way to test, not 100%, but a fairly reliable way to test something like that for an HDMI failure is to get, let me get something to get a solid ground, is to get ground from the board. And that's what I'm doing here. Come on. All right. And check. This is my meter. And check those tiny signals here. Let me zoom that and focus it to see what are they giving. It's got to be a tiny probe. Okay, this one sounds good, 0.6. Don't forget I'm zoomed. Second one also doesn't ring, 0.6 sounds good. The third one will be the middle, that's ground. Okay, that's normal to be ringing. But those two, okay, let's move it away. That is that short. And what that means is that this differential signal, the second pair, which goes from the HDMI straight to the processor here, is shorted. And that will mean that it's actually the processor that is shorted, because there's nothing here on the HDMI. So that board will be dead. At the very best, it may be working without HDMI. that is possible to happen. The section of the processor that handles HDMI sometimes can get hit and damaged without affecting the rest of the processor. Most of the time though, it gets damaged and the board just becomes totally dead. So let's see the same thing on the second board where the HDMIs, I think it was that one that was problematic. Once again, first let me get the ground. It's harder. I have to watch it. Okay, and then zoom in here. Here, the jumpers are literally jumped, so it's even, there's no component. And the first one that I touched is grounded. See, that's the leftmost one. Grounded. It goes to here. This is middle one normal to be grounded. Third one also grounded. Grounded. Both pairs are grounded. 3 pairs. 4 pairs. This whole port is totally busted. Again, with some luck, this board may be working, but that HDMI port at the very least, usually all the HDMI ports, if by chance it does work, are busted. More commonly, the board would not come up at all. Oftentimes when this is damaged, there is also additional damage on the board. So we ordered 2 boards from TV Parts Today, and they don't say anywhere in the listing that they're defective or damaged or anything. We basically buy boards that this is the listing. Blah, 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 $49.95, 30-day warranty. It's out of stock. They only had one. And when I tried to return that, I found out that it was actually hard. Nowhere in the order, nowhere in the support, I found anything about this order. I went to view the order, and you look around and look around and look around, and you don't find anything, but you do find it at the bottom of the page. Under quick links, you find returns. And unlike many other websites, there is a return warranty policy that I'm not going to read to you. They have their right to have it there. And as long as I've placed the order, I should have read that up front. And I don't blame them for putting up a policy that I don't like. If I don't like it, I should not be buying the stuff. But had I bothered to read that up front, I probably wouldn't have gone through the whole thing. And I do recommend that you do read that carefully because of the way it is ordered. I'm not saying it is made to take advantage of you, but it definitely puts you at disadvantage. I don't know whether we will return those boards or just repair them. By all means, though, we shouldn't have been paying for them the same price that everybody else will be. Nobody should have been paying the price for which they're sold. They talk about testing the boards after they return and making sure that they're not sold to another customer if they're bad and so on and so forth. They very clearly don't do that. They have no idea. I mean, those are 2 boards. If it happens once in a while, that's fine. But we placed 2 orders for the whole year probably, and both of them arrived defective. And yes, we do tend to order parts that are in demand, but hey, so does everyone else. I mean, you order the parts that fail in a TV, and those are the parts that fail in those 2 TVs. So if they have them, they're chop shop. They take them from TVs. They don't test them at all. They have no clue which one is bad. That probably applies to many other chop shops. I have nothing personal against TV Parts Today. This is just something that everybody should know before buying from a chop shop versus a service center that offers lots and lots of repairs and refurbished parts. When you order from a chop shop, especially if it's a part that nobody else has, don't be surprised at all if it is defective. And read the warranty and return policy in advance, because there are things there that are not good, in my opinion. Again, every company is free to have their own warranty policy, and it is none of my business to tell people how to run their business. Just as a consumer, there are things in this policy that I would not have put there, but once again, I respect their right to have their own policy in place. That said, it should be possible. They don't make it impossible for me They just make it difficult. Returns are only possible if you call up front over the phone, etc., etc., etc. Anyhow, the bottom line is, when you buy parts from a chop shop, even if they tell you that they test them, it is not very likely. Okay, I haven't been to every chop shop around. It is not very likely that they do, and it is more likely that you will receive defective parts as those too. That's all.